Hello and welcome to a very special something different. The Art of No Communication, or aka Fomo, in its very most pure of forms. There are many things I can say, and I was planning on doing a video talking about some of the more abusive issues of why I think roadmaps and the older way Games Workshop handled talking about releases was better than the newer way. And I was going to talk about, that dang new fancy style Phoenix Lord Fugan or whatever. He's got the axe and the melta gun. Pretty cool character overall. And I was going to talk about the whole leak situation, and that really this is an outlet of what happens when people are not communicated with, when you don't tell people about what to expect and you more prey upon their expectations of something bad happening or not being able to get a hold of something or whatnot. Effectively, I was going to be talking about all that, and then of course they put out a article on what they're doing for Middle Earth strategy battle game. They call it a refresh, but I call it a purge, and you see why. There's around 70 odd units being removed from Cell and going into Legacies, and 2 that are just being removed outright. Now that might not sound like too big of a deal. Some people might say that's a lot of models, it's a lot of bloat. But you have to remember, this is Games Workshop. They're going to fill that back in with something. But I think it also sucks for a community that has largely kept the game alive, and they play a lot of random things. The system's made for a lot of things to be viable that you wouldn't expect. And quite honestly, I don't believe they have the health of the system in mind with these choices. I think it comes down to more they want to use the movies and potentially new books and shows to do most of the marketing for them, as they basically sit back and just expect the market to come and buy their stuff without being told anything. But I think it was fairly telling when they said most of the miniatures will be going off sale, and some have already been unavailable for a while. Really? They've been unavailable for a while. Wow, that's not a story a bunch of other company or lines have felt and dealt with. Certain miniatures are being rolled into different profiles, while a few are being removed from the game. Okay, well, it doesn't really matter if you can't buy the damn thing. But again, why wasn't this article out a year ago so that people who wanted to purchase some of these things that have been purged and will not be in anything but last to sell, aka clear a warehouse out sales, have the opportunity to get it at a pace that's at least reasonable? Well, it comes down to FOMO. FOMO relies on you, the customer, knowing the absolute least that you can in every situation so that a high pressure sales technique can be used on you and get you to make purchases you might not, with all the necessary information, make otherwise. And that's one of those things. That's why they always say, hey, if you feel like you're going to need to buy something, take a moment and think about it. And that's the problem is with the way Games Workshop has maneuvered its sales, and something I think is going to come back to bite them firmly upon the rear, especially as we see them starting to have a little bit of a normalization in sales. So the biggest problem I have repeatedly said is that Games Workshop in the past would tell you what to expect. You would have a general idea of what things were coming down the pipeline and when they were coming down the pipeline so that you could make an informed purchase. Games Workshop has moved to a FOMO market where it's really not about maintaining a customer or giving the customer something to look forward to and being able to make the best purchases. It's about what is good for GW in that moment, which, as a person who supports the customer, is not a thing I see as good. And I don't believe it's good for the long-term viability of a company. FOMO is, again, a predatory marketing technique meant to deprive you of information, to put you in a situation where you feel like you have to act, and to deprive you of that money as quickly as possible, and then go, well, sorry, tough luck. It's the reason why if you try to bring something back because you bought it during the end of an edition and you didn't know the edition was going to end, they just tried to upsell you on something new instead of giving you your money back. So, to a large extent, I think with this, the third or fourth purge that they have done in this kind of scale, it's pretty evident that Games Workshop has been going down this road. And I don't understand why people think that it's a good thing. Maybe you think it's a good thing due to the bloat being lessened, but I think that the longer they stay with this marketing style where they don't pay attention to the customer, they don't care about giving them the information, the worse it's going to get for everyone involved, and especially the company in the long term. You can't do this kind of situation. Like, why are there so many issues with the idea of telling people ahead of time, hey, look, guys, we're going to be redoing X, Y, or Z in the Eldar line, so look forward to those coming up this year or next year, when you got to look at the way they're doing things and you're going, wow, they just want to put this thing in your face, go purchase it now, and they're not even thinking long term. And I think that this is what is the biggest problem in terms of marketing, because I don't believe that they push out and actually market to people anymore. They expect the brand to be enough to bring people in, and they think the brand is big enough or more important to keep you involved in things than actually customer service, giving you any idea of what's going on. And it's just about really bullshit tactics to sell you on something. And that's why I just ended up not talking too much on the whole leak controversy about the Phoenix Lord, because, well, it'd be really easy to fix for Games Workshop. It's really simply this. Last year, you should have said, hey guys, look forward to this Phoenix Lord, Fugan, which I'm going to constantly screw up his name, is coming next year. Look forward to him. Or look forward to this next unit being there, because then people would have their expectations there. The leak wouldn't be as big of a deal. Sure, people would be excited to see the model, but it wouldn't matter if it leaked then, because people would know and expect. Some people would look at it and they'd be like, cool, but we knew it was coming. It wouldn't be as big of a deal. It's only a big deal from Games Workshop's point of view, and I'm going to be very frank on this, because they don't want you, the customer, to have any knowledge of beforehand until it drops, so that they can secure as many pre-orders as possible, so that when they do that first run, it sells out immediately. It has nothing to do with providing you a good product or a product that you necessarily want and or need for your current project. It's simply, well, you don't know what's coming. We're going to throw new thing in front of you and hope that that does enough to get a purchase, because it preys upon the human habit of seeing a new thing, thinking it's cool and wanting it. So I know, a bit of a rambly one, but what can we honestly say in this day and age when you look at the sales techniques that are being used, and they're all high pressure. They're never ones to inform or help direct or help shape what you might be interested in or might be useful for people wanting to do certain things. There's plenty of people who want this character. The fact that they have played this stupid game, I think, says everything you need to. That, like their constant sell prices, like a Chaos Lord that's effectively monoposed for $42, what in the literal... You can tell they don't respect you. They don't really care what your opinion is, and they sure as hell do not care past that initial sell with you. So thanks for joining me, and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.